deserve to be rocking the Ray-Bans. It is gorgeous out. I had to park in a different parking lot this morning, so the car was sitting in the sun. So the car's nice and warm because of the sun. I think I might be a little bit ahead of the traffic this morning, coming a different way. A lot less stress, which we all enjoy. That's what this is all about. That's right, I have the right of way. Oh, there you go. Always in the turn before you got there, so that's fine. So what's going on? Well, a couple of updates with everything happening. As you all know, the podcast, excuse me, the audio podcast, the Whiskey Compass audio podcast is live on Apple Podcast, Apple iTunes podcast. I don't know how they do it now. They used to just call it iTunes. And so that's cool. And actually had someone come up and say they listened to it last night. Huge thanks to Sam for that. And you don't know how big of a deal it is. I actually had a podcast. It was a magic podcast, the Dave Attwood Show. And this was going on in 2011, 2012. I'd already had a podcast before that, just as an experimentation, more of a, an exercise, a learning, educational thing. And it was called the Dave and Steve Show, where every week we'd try new cocktails. And we made a lot of mistakes, but it was a lot of information came from that, which was really great. But then the Dave Attwood Show came out, and it was 100% about magic, about the community that I was a part of. And I had a lot of listeners. It was a healthy show. In fact, at one point, it was because, and I will say it was because podcasts were still relatively new to the world, but it was the top 1% of the top 1% of all the podcasts, not just magic podcasts, but all podcasts, making us the world's #1 magic podcast, which was great. However, nobody in my local community here in Victoria was listening to the show. And I thought it ironic because the show was geared towards magicians, and we interviewed the stars of magic, like the really big heavy duty players of magic all throughout the world. Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, okay. Sometimes I have to wonder if there's like a neurological deficiency when people just stand at the side of the road. Anyways, so I'm putting on this podcast. I've got the stars of magic on it, and it was well done. We did reviews of magical products. We interviewed one of the biggest stars in magic every week. Every week we interviewed someone, a major hitter. And I mean, these guys with TV credit and, books to their name and, putting out product on the, in the world. It was just ironic, and no one locally listened to the show. And when Sam at work came up and said, "Hey, I listened to your podcast last night," I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, I can't believe someone that knows me actually listened to my podcast. Except for you, Ray. I know you watch my stuff, and Callum, you too. God bless you guys. But it's such a thing to have a coworker come up and say, "Yeah, I went to your website and I listened to your podcast. It was kind of cool." There you go. Great. Mind blown. Literally mind blown. So the reason I bring this up today is that I wanted to say that when you start doing anything, any sort of new project, do not rely on your friends and family to support you. It's a sad thing to say, but and I don't even think it's a mean thing to do. I don't think it's not a malicious thing that they're doing. But what I found is it's really funny how when you start putting something together, whether it's writing a book, whether it's putting on a podcast or putting on, like I used to put on public shows here, your friends and family won't be there for you. It is so ironic. The people who are there for you are strangers. because they actually are interested in the type of thing you're doing. So when you start putting together something, whatever your project is, be it you're cleaning houses, you're flipping cars, you're putting together a course to sell online to teach people how to pass the barrister's exam, whatever the case is, you're gonna turn to your friends and go, hey, would you support me with your free click, with the mouse click and it doesn't cost anything? Could you, the person who is part of my kin, part of my clan, could you just, take your finger and just go click on this website, on this link that I'm sending on Facebook? You see it pop up. Can you just click on it? And you'll be surprised how many people won't do it. They can't do it. There's something about supporting your friends and family that is, it's almost as if they want you to make it. I can't even say that. Because it's so often it's happened to me where people won't. The only time I ever had friends and family come to me with regards to my business was when I was 23 years old. I owned an optical store with a laboratory in it, so you could, grind. I could make the glasses to prescription right there on site. And the only time I had people in my family come up and say anything regarding my business was to see if I could give their son or their nephew or their boyfriend a job. It was absolutely, that's just the way it is. I wish it was different. But and here's what I'll tell you to do. If for all of my subscriber that's listening right now, what I would say is, if you have a friend that's posting a business or an event and you aren't going to go, online say you're going, you're interested. Don't say not interested, because that's the worst thing you can do, because it starts to create this negative reaction. Whereas if more people say they're interested, more people say they're interested. And this reverse happens when you say you're not interested. More people will not be interested in going and supporting this person. So if a friend or family is doing something, say you're interested. And the second thing you should do is share it. And if they're putting on something for free, like a podcast or a YouTube channel or a magazine or what have you, what's this guy doing? I don't understand. Okay, there's a type of driver. I've got nicknames for every driver, but right now I'm behind what's called a cushion driver. And what a cushion driver is someone who drives with so much space in front of them, and we're in rush hour traffic, and they leave so much space that they miss lights, people cut in, and the more people cut in, the more space they leave, so the further back you get. And it's usually someone, and this is if someone's wearing if they're wearing a hat, which, if you think about it, when you're driving, you shouldn't be wearing a hat, because it cuts down on, look, another light, holy moly. Don't wear a hat when you're driving, because it cuts down your vision. And if they have anything dangling from the mirror, and unless it's a pair of panties, then, I mean, come on, that guy's just a badass. Or if they've got stuffed animals in the back window, those are all signs you need to watch out for this person. I'm stuck behind this person. It's a one lane. I can't do anything, but they're slow driving. And it's not the slow driving, because we're all driving slow. It's the cushion driving. It's the not pulling up, getting, less than 10 car lengths behind the car. It's like, come on, drive me nuts. And then another person gets in, and then we're that much further back behind. Oh my Lord. Another thing is, anytime anyone has more than one bumper sticker on the back of their car, watch out for those people. There's something going on there. Oh, there you go. Almost took out a cyclist. Wow. Good times. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is, when you start something, it's funny, if you have a baby or a wedding, people go out and spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on gifts for you. But if you have a business where you're selling something for $20, you will get no support from your friends or family. And it's so ironic, because that business is a baby to some people. I know for myself it has been. It always has been. I'm running the light because it's... Oh, I mean, I didn't run a light. I'm just, you know, keeping up with this cushion driver. My God. I guess I gotta get in this lane. I don't want to. There you go. When making a left, I always like to stay on the outside lane. They always move faster. But I got funneled into the inside lane. So when you're writing a book, when you are starting a YouTube channel, when you're starting a clothing line, whatever the case is, you are not going to get support from your friends or family. Don't rely on it. In fact, I would, because I remember when I first started writing when I was 19, I would get magazines on how to write, how to get published. It's not about how to write, it's about how to get published. And the one story that came up was this woman who was, you know, a huge family, you know, an Indian woman, had a huge family. And, you know, she figured if she published a book, all she'd have to do is get everyone in her family to buy a book and to be a bestseller. Nobody in her family bought books. They wouldn't buy the book. And unfortunately, that's the case, not with just this one particular woman writing. It's that case with everything. I'm just saying, if you're in it, if you're in this grind to be an entrepreneur, or you know, motivated to build your own thing and start your own business, you're going to have to market, and you have to market hard to strangers. And those are going to be the people that support you, not your family. But that's okay. Just when you don't get support from your family, don't be surprised. Just move on. I think every family member should support, you know, but that's what happens. So, having said that, like I'm trying to bring back the wave when we're driving, let's bring back the share. Let's do that. Let's bring back the share. So when you have a friend or a family member that's starting a business or is putting on events or doing something to raise funds, whatever it is, like and share. That's really the most powerful way you can. I mean, and also it's free. I mean, how much does it take to click and be done with it? Spend some time going through your feed and look for people who are actually doing something with their lives and trying to start something and taking a chance. And if you care about them, you know, click. It's just like, respond, share, comment, like do something. And if it doesn't cost anything, there was a friend of mine, Matt Johnson, who had a YouTube channel before he made it big in the magic world. And it was called Beer and Watches. And every week, oh, I loved it. It's making me thirsty thinking about it. Every week he'd try a new beer and he'd show a new watch and he'd describe the watch and he would talk all the cool things about the watch. And then, because I'm a watch guy as well. And then, I mean, particularly I'm not a beer guy, but I love the idea of watches. And I would let it play. I would put it on I would put play on YouTube. And I would let it play. I'll let all the ads play. I would let it play right to the end. Because that was my way of supporting him. Even if I wasn't too keenly interested in the watch he was talking about or the beer he was drinking, he was a friend. And so I just let it play in the background. You know why? Because it was free. So you do that to your friends too. So that's going to be our new movement with Financial Freeway. We're going to help our friends and family by just simply watching their product, watching their content, clicking on their links, liking their stuff, commenting on their stuff, and sharing it. That's the thing. That's the key. So let's do that for our friends. Let's us be the change we want to see. Okay, let's do that. Anyways, on that note, really quick, Whiskey Compass is going to be launched on Saturday, March 1st. Really excited about it. Really excited about the product. Really excited about the podcasting. Really excited about the whole thing. Actually, it's been a long. Well, not that long actually. It's been quite a ride. I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited that you're going to be a part of it, and you get to see it all happen from the very beginning, from concept through the build to the launch, and then hopefully into when we start to see some money coming through, some subscribers, some ad revenue, and product placement and things like that. stick around. I hope it's going to be great. So if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up, the like, the share, all that stuff. Really like that. Also check out financialfreeway23.ca. That's where all the good stuff is. That's where all the archival stuff is, like the really cool stuff with regards to the MBA commute program that we put together. Check it out, because it's free. Everything's free on there, and it's all done, because this is our mission, right? It's just what we're trying to do. But as we're teaching, we're learning. So that's really a big part of it. And also, as we always say, share the good word, share the gospel of what we're doing here. Spread it out there so everyone gets to understand. Everyone understands that each and every person has the inalienable right to live a life of success, happiness, and abundance. Wherever you are in this beautiful, gorgeous afternoon, God bless.